Good afternoon. I'm Ted Perry in the Fox 6 studios. We're interrupting the movie Garden State to bring you word of a shooting, a mass shooting, at a Sikh temple in Oak Creek. I want to tell you where this is. It's in the South 7500 block of South Howell Avenue. Earlier today, a gunman walked in during temple services and started to fire. Ashley Sears is on the scene for us right now. Ashley, I'm hoping you can hear me, and I'm hoping you can tell us what you've learned over the last several hours that you've been down there.
Ted, I can hear you. What we're learning from police is very little, but what we're learning from the people behind me is very telling. Most of these people have friends and family inside the Sikh temple here off Howell Avenue. I spoke with one man who says his uncle has been shot. He called his uncle on the phone. His uncle did not answer, but a man who identified himself as the head priest answered. He confirmed that 4 people had been shot. He also said that 20 others were lying on the ground. At that point, he was hiding in a bathroom with his family and 5 other people. Now, we did also speak with a woman who says her kids are inside of that building. She also got a phone call from who we do not know at this point. They were saying that they did not know where the shooter was, but many people lying on the ground, they said they could hear the yells and screams of the people. They don't know what's happening in terms of emergency crews entering the building.
This all unfolded this morning, from what we're hearing, between 10 and 11 o'clock this morning.
Where, to the best of our ability to ascertain from a witness who talked to somebody inside, said it was not a member of the community, that a white man had come in and started shooting. There are reports of more than one person. None of it's confirmed.
Well, we're talking to Amarjeet Singh. Did I say your name correctly?
Yes.
And you had some thoughts on this issue. Tell me what you've heard, first of all.
First of all, there is shooting going in the Sikh temple around 10:15. But first we think it is just somebody did just clash something. But later we know there are 4 guys who shot on sitting people inside the kitchen hall, and inside the where we perform all the gospels, and they kill. I think they said they kill 4 people.
So they literally sat people down, 4 people, and they killed them. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they're sitting down and he's shooting.
What I can tell you is that approximately 10:25 a.m., Oak Creek Dispatch received an unintelligible 911 call from someone who was reporting an incident. They received further information that there may be a shooting going on at the Sikh temple here in Oak Creek. An officer arrived on scene, engaged an active shooter. That officer was shot multiple times. He has been transported to a local hospital. He is expected to survive. That officer returned fire and that shooter was put down. That shooter is currently outside of the temple. He is down on the scene. At this time, we don't know if there are additional shooters inside the temple. Our tactical officers from multiple jurisdictions are on the scene. They are going about a methodical process of identifying the individuals both inside and outside of the temple and ensuring that the scene is safe and secure, and attending to victims as they go forward. Please understand that, as I said, the situation is very fluid. Tactical operations are ongoing at this moment, so I cannot share any other information from you.
As we take a look at the scene here, multiple agencies there, of course. Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department is there, of course. We just saw the Oak Creek command team truck pull in.
Along with Franklin and St. Francis. And this is so incredible because just a few weeks ago, we were talking about a mass shooting in Aurora and how we would respond here if something like this were to happen locally. And here we are on this Sunday morning.
Ashley Sears, you are joined with us again. Apparently you have new information. Jump in anytime. What do you need?
Well, Ted, we're hearing now the man who I spoke with earlier. He's actually right here. I'm going to grab him. Jatinder, do you mind if we speak for a moment? Yeah. He's hearing that people have been evacuated. The people he was speaking to in the bathroom are out. He says he can see them at this point. I guess, you spoke to with these people? Excuse me.
No, I didn't speak. Yeah, but I spoke to them earlier, but I didn't speak to them now. But I can see them there right across the street, right over there in the parking lot.
So they are in the parking lot. Those are some of the...
Those are head priest and other guys,
And you were hearing also that people in the kitchen were going to...
They are going right inside that, walking into that red building. Yeah, those were inside, those were locked in the bathroom.
So they were hiding out in the bathroom, and those people...
Those guys, the cops had them out.
And we're just getting information. Our Sharita Irvs is also following the story. She is telling us that 2 people have now arrived at Frederick Hospital. 1 person, a male, is in ICU. Another man is being evaluated in the emergency department. Frederick is preparing. It is a trauma center, major trauma center in our area, preparing for more people to arrive.
Kim, yeah, I just spoke with this man. He approached me. He said that one of his friends actually drove up to the scene and witnessed 2 people getting shot. Just kind of describe what he told you.
Yeah, he's just parking the car in the parking lot, and he saw 2 people falling down, and then he heard the shot, and then the shooter loaded the gun again, and he's just going into the building. And the friend was scared, he'd drive away.
Frederick Hospital, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, responding to a mass casualty incident that occurred this morning in Oak Creek. We have 3 patients now. This came across at 12:40. They have all suffered gunshot wounds. 3 are males. All are in critical condition. 1 is in the surgical intensive unit. 1 is in the operating room. 1 has just arrived in the emergency department.
This is not at all what I've expected, especially at a place where we've never heard of any sort of fights or any sort of threats, and it's just terrible to see that one beautiful morning that we're just on our way and there's a shooting and there's 7 people dead inside the place where we had just walked on Thursday, and it's tragic to hear. Absolutely tragic.
One of my friend's grandparents, he was in there and he got shot, so we don't know if he's alive yet or what's going on with that. And then before that, one of my friend's uncles, he had got shot, and we also just found out that 7 are dead. Yeah.
And your reaction to that, I mean, the Greenfield police chief just giving that news, that must be heartbreaking.
It is. I honestly don't know what to feel right now, because it's like I know them, but then it's like feel like I'm not close. It's still our community, and it's going to affect us really horribly.
She also gave a very interesting account of knowing people who locked themselves by choice, not forced to be in here, but locked themselves in a pantry to save their own lives. And in doing so, while running towards the pantry, called everyone they knew and said, "Do not come here. Something is going on. We're about to die. Don't come here." I mean, it's an unimaginable thing to do while you are running for your own life and picking up your cell phone and calling all of your loved ones and trying to save their lives. Just unimaginable that something like that is happening inside a temple of all places.
All right, Henry, thank you very much.
Basically, one of my friend whose name is Kamal, his mom went to temple in the morning, and we were here since after this event, after this incident, and we have been trying to find his mom, where she is. As officer told right now, all the people they brought into the bowling lane, and my friend, he already went over there, but he could not find his mom over there. So I'm hoping and I'm praying right now that she is fine and good, and we just want to know where she is right now. If by chance she is a little bit injured, which hospital she is in, or if she is in bowling lanes or in the temple still, we just want to know where she is.
Here outside Frederick Hospital, they have confirmed for us that 3 people are being treated here, all of them for gunshot wounds. We know that all 3 of them are men. All of them are also in critical condition. 1 of them is in surgery. This was as of 20 minutes ago, so likely is still in surgery. 1 of them was shot in the extremities and also in the face. And the other person, that 3rd person, is still being evaluated at this time.
They're all kind of shook up. Some people walked in and started shooting, and there were little kids who started screaming. There's a gunfire going on, and the ladies and the kids, they hid in the closets.
And how did they get the word out? Were they calling using their cell phones?
Yeah, they used their cell phones by texting and calling cell phones.
Live from our Milwaukee studios with stories that matter to you, this is Fox 6 News.
An act of domestic terrorism. That is what police are calling the mass shooting at the Sikh temple in Oak Creek. 7 people dead, including the shooter.
That's right. Ann State, along Mary Stoker-Smith here. We are continuing our coverage. We're going to be with you all night and bring you the latest numbers right now. We know that 3 others were injured, including an Oak Creek police officer who has 20 years on the force there. We're going to start there with our Henry Rossoff, who has been live in Oak Creek all afternoon to bring us the latest information about the situation there. Henry, are many people still gathered trying to get information about people that they believe are missing at this point?
Indeed, and that is the question at this hour. The police have said no more official information will be released to us after they said that 7 had died in this incident, including the shooter. But I want to get right to Amar Deep, whose parents are heavily involved in the temple and gave him their firsthand account of exactly what happened. So I think this is a great way to begin our show. Amar, explain what happened here.
Okay, as of now, the firsthand account I have is from my mom, who's downstairs with the FBI and is a survivor. And she told me that she heard gunshots about 40 to 50 or 30 to 40 because the echo's kind of, there's so much echo you can't really tell the number. And I asked her specifically, was it a brr, brr, or like a pop, pop, pop? And she said it was like a pop, pop, pop. And then as we find out more information, she then says, you know, everybody started to hide and kind of like the chaos ensued. Then my father, who happened to be in the office at the time, he was there early. He's the president of the temple and the founder. And he went to go try to tackle the shooter, I guess, and got shot and killed, or not shot and injured as of now. That's
so your father's okay? He's not dead?
As of now, we're finding out all the information. We're trying to find him in the hospital. We haven't found him yet. I'm waiting for that phone call at every moment once we know which hospital he's in or where he's at. We've tried to ID him at Freighter, but we haven't. We have no information.
So you're praying that he's one of these 3 men in Freighter in critical condition?
Yes, we're praying for that.
Most definitely deemed a terrible day here in Oak Creek. Approximately an hour ago during a news conference, law enforcement crediting local law enforcement with stemming this lethal threat, essentially saying that the person who shot this gunman prevented additional bloodshed. And in this particular situation, that is exactly what these officers have been trained to do. The FBI, the ATF, now part of this ongoing investigation. And for now, we should say that a house of worship is now for the moment being called a crime scene. The only people, for the most part, going in and out are investigators. Heavily armed officers gather outside the scene of a multiple shooting that took place inside and outside of Oak Creek's Sikh Temple of Wisconsin. Law enforcement received multiple 911 calls around 10:25 Sunday morning. Police say a 20-year veteran of the Oak Creek Police Department exchanged fire with a shooter. The officer was struck multiple times, and the gunman later died from another officer's fire. Flight for Life took to the air, and family members gathered on the ground, desperately trying to contact loved ones who could be inside.
I called on his phone. That somebody else answered the phone that he got shot.
Somebody just called me from inside. My kids are inside.
Some were contacted by panicked relatives inside the temple, hiding in a pantry or closet, warning worshippers about the violence.
Yeah, they called us. They called us not to come into Gurdwara, not to come to church.
Police say at least 9 were shot, 7 were killed, including the shooter.
A couple people got shot in parking lot.
At least 10 were shot, 7 were killed, including the shooter. As dozens watch and wait and hope their loved ones can make it through this terrible scene.
He's crying, you know, he's in a lot of pain, but I don't know where he got shot, but he got shot.
Some activity going on right now in Cudahy.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to take you back out there live out of Cudahy, where Brandon Cruz is monitoring a neighborhood that has been evacuated, the 3700 block there in of Holmes Street, right, Brandon?
Yeah, it's Holmes Avenue here. It's the 3700 block. It's about 2 blocks in from Packard to the east. And what we have noticed here about 8 minutes ago, a number of vehicles of the FBI rolled through, including a heavily armored vehicle, and then more than a dozen FBI agents have stepped out. Some of them are in full gear, that protective gear, as they are now outside of the house. They are on the street together. But they all rolled through, like I said, about 8 minutes ago.
For those viewers just tuning in, you might be best to bring us up to speed.
Okay, well, obviously we're dealing with 7 people killed at the Sikh temple in Oak Creek, one of them the gunman. The police, at the last word we heard, when they gave the press conference around 4, they said that 4 people were found dead inside the temple, 3 people dead outside. And interestingly, you and I were talking in the break, AJ Bayatpour is reporting that 2 kids, we don't know how old they were, witnessed the shooter shoot 2 people in the parking lot and then go inside the temple. Those kids actually beat him inside the temple. They went in to warn people. So presumably, if this is true, some kids may have prevented the loss of life from being greater.
And police at that 4 o'clock news conference laying out where people died, 4 dead on the inside, 3 on the outside, including the shooter. So, Ann, if what these children are apparently saying, or what they are saying about these children are true, killed 2 people, went inside, and as he was on his way out, that's when he got into the gun battle with police.